Benny Andersson wrote ABBA's biggest hits, while secretly battling something darker. For 20 years he kept quiet. Then in 2011 at age 64 he finally admitted the truth. He couldn't function without alcohol during ABBA's golden years. Every hit song, every world tour, every Grammy, he was drunk through it all. But that wasn't even the hardest confession. He also revealed why songs like The Winner Takes It All hurt so much. They weren't just about heartbreak. They were his way of avoiding real conversations. Benny Andersson was born on December 16, 1946, in the Västisten district of Stockholm. But this wasn't just any birth. He was stepping into a family where music flowed through every room like air. His father Gösta may have been a civil engineer by job, but at heart he was a musician, especially when it came to playing the accordion. Even more important was Benny's grandfather, Ephraim, who filled family events with Swedish folk melodies on his accordion. At home, music wasn't background noise. It was the main event. Benny grew up hearing tunes that had been passed down through generations. That deep connection to Swedish folk music would later find its way into global pop hits, though no one knew it yet, not even Benny. Everything changed when Benny turned 6. That's when he got his first accordion. For most kids it might have ended up in a corner after a few days. But not for Benny. He was obsessed. He joined his father and grandfather, playing folk tunes night after night. It wasn't just fun. It was training. He learned how music tells a story, how melodies speak without words. Waltzes, kadishes, polskas, they became part of his musical DNA. Years later, those same rhythms would echo in ABBA songs that filled arenas. But at that point he was just a boy learning how to make music with the people he loved. By the time he was 10, Benny was ready to move beyond the accordion. He discovered the piano, and it felt like home. There were no teachers, no lessons, just him, the keys, and hours of trial and error. He played by ear, figuring out notes from the radio, then twisting them into his own versions. He didn't follow rules, he invented his own. Day after day he sat at the piano for hours. Slowly he built a style that blended pop with folk, structure with soul. It wasn't long before he could shift between musical worlds like it was nothing. That blend would become one of ABBA's secret weapons. Songs like Dancing Queen owe their signature sound to those lonely hours Benny spent figuring things out by himself. At 15, while most kids were still trying to pass maths tests, Benny walked away from school. It was 1961, and he had made up his mind. Music wasn't just a dream. It was the only path. He started performing at youth clubs around Stockholm, especially in the suburb. He wasn't famous yet, but people noticed the way he played, the way he held a crowd. It was clear he wasn't just another teen with a guitar. He gained a reputation fast, and soon his name was floating around among local bands and producers. It was risky. Sweden back then didn't look kindly on dropouts. But Benny wasn't interested in safety. He was chasing something bigger, and it was working. Around this time, Benny also experienced something that would shape him just as deeply as music: young love and fatherhood. He met Christina Grunvall, a fellow musician. They connected quickly, and by the time Benny was 17, they had a son, Peter. 2 years later, their daughter Helen was born. Benny was still just a teenager. Most kids his age were barely figuring out their future. And here he was trying to balance diapers and rehearsals. It wasn't easy. He had gigs, dreams, and now a family depending on him. But those years taught him something no stage ever could: what it meant to carry real responsibility. And those emotions, the struggle, the love, the guilt, they would one day seep into lyrics that made millions cry. Benny Andersson was just 17 when everything changed. It was October 1964. He wasn't a star yet. He was still working as a bank clerk by day, but at night he played music. That's when he caught the attention of Svina Hedlund, the lead singer of the Hep Stars. During a casual jam session, Benny's skill on the organ stunned him. Days later, Benny was officially part of the HEP Stars. The band already had momentum, but Benny added something extra. His classical training mixed with raw instinct gave the group a new sound. He brought complexity without losing the beat. Within months, the band took off and Benny was at the center of it all. Their real breakthrough came in March 1965. That's when they performed Cadillac on national television. The show was called Drop In and over 1 million Swedes watched it. Huge numbers for a country of just 7.7 million. The energy, the confidence, and especially Benny's electric organ playing left viewers stunned. The band was suddenly everywhere. People called them the Swedish Beatles. Benny, the once quiet teen, was now a teen idol. Girls screamed his name. Photographers chased him. Cadillac sold more than 80,000 copies, a huge number back then, especially in a market ruled by British and American bands. But Benny didn't just want to perform, he wanted to create. Later that same year he wrote his first original song. No Response didn't top the charts, but it was a start. Then in 1966 he wrote Sunny Girl. That changed everything. It wasn't just a hit, it was a breakthrough. The song had a delicate sadness to it, something uniquely Swedish. It hit #1 and stayed there for weeks. Benny had no formal songwriting education. He did it all by ear. Yet, Sunny Girl sold more than 50,000 copies and got covered across Europe. Swedish pop, long seen as second tier, suddenly had global potential, and Benny was leading the way. Between 1964 and 1969, the HEP Stars dominated Swedish pop, and Benny wrote many of their biggest hits. Songs like Wedding Consolation, She Will Love You, and It's Nice to Be Back didn't just sell well. They became part of Swedish culture. Wedding, released in